All right. Ready? It's my pleasure to reconvene the Mount Diablo Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Today is August 13, 2025. And Trustee Nzewi is participating at this meeting from the Hilton Checkers Hotel at 535 South Grand Avenue in Los Angeles. And she was able to join our closed session meeting at 4:55 p.m. And she is now connected with us at this point in time. Keisha, could you respond? We just want to make sure that Trustee Nzewi is with us.
Trustee Nzewi?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear a word that Linda said, so I had to watch it on video. So it was completely silent, just to let you know. But yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
Now I hear you. There you go.
Okay. Let's see. The first item under our business is the land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Mount Diablo Unified School District sits on the territory of the Confederated Villages of the Lasan, the ancestral and unceded land of the Bay Miwok and Northern Yokut, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Contra Costa County. As members of the Mount Diablo Unified School District community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we learn, but also we recognize that the land we inhabit and learn on is the ancestral land of these people who are alive and flourishing members of the Mount Diablo Unified School District and broader Bay Area communities today. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, we will now move to 6.3, which is the approval of the minutes of June 25th, 2025.
Madam President, I move to approve the minutes for the board study session minutes and regular board meeting held June 25th, 2025.
Second.
So we have a motion by Trustee Mason with a second by Trustee McDougall on the approval of the minutes that are June 25th, 2025 meeting. Is there further discussion? Hearing none. Let's vote. Oh, yes, that's correct. I apologize. Trustee Lawrence.
I'm going to abstain since I was not here.
Thank you. Trustee Mason.
I vote to approve.
Trustee McDougall.
Approve.
Trustee Nzewi, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Mayo votes yes. Would you please vote electronically as well? So for the members of the audience, we will do roll call vote when I remember it and when I'm reminded. And then we will also vote electronically to confirm our voice vote and make it easier for preparing the minutes. So the motion is adopted on a 4 in favor, no votes against, and 1 abstention. Now we're going to move on to the review and potential approval for the special board meeting held on August 4th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the board study session held on August 4th, 2025, and that are presented for review and approval.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee McDougall on the approval of the minutes for August 4th, 2025. Trustee McDougall, how do you vote?
In favor?
Trustee Mason, how do you vote?
Aye.
Trustee Lawrence, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Trustee Nzewi, how do you vote?
Yes.
And trustee Mayo votes yes. Please vote electronically. And the motion is adopted 5-0-0 to approve the minutes of August 4th. Now we are ready for approving the agenda. Dr. Clark, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Madam President.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee Lawrence on the approval of the agenda as printed. Is there further discussion? Hearing none. Trustee Mason, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee McDougall?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi? And trustee Mayo votes yes. Please vote electronically. And the motion to approve the agenda as presented is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote. Now for the fun part. Dr. Clark, would you please administer the oath of office to our student board member?
Yes, I will, if you will meet me at the podium. Please repeat after me. First of all, this is the oath of office, State of California, Contra Costa County, and for the office of Mount Diablo Student Board Member. So, I, repeat your full name, please.
I, Barrera Rojana,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of California
and the Constitution of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties upon
discharge the duties upon
which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
You got a mic?
You'd like to say a few words, literally 20 seconds. Not even have a speech, fair. Say what you mean, and introduce if you have anyone here.
Hello. I'm very excited for the year. I'm very excited for this upcoming year. And I would like to thank my parents, Silvio Rejana, my dad, Sergio Barrera, and my sister, Rosarito. And then I also have my counselor, Miss Heindel, here. I'm very grateful from them, and I wouldn't be here without them today.
We're very pleased that you are joining us, and now I can call on you for your vote. It looked like I was ignoring you earlier.
Ms. Mayo, I just wanted to share that you, Trustee Mason and I were all here when we had our first ever student board rep, and It has been so great to see this program flourish. And in addition to often dressing better than the board members, they've often asked better questions than the rest of us and kept us on our toes. And so congratulations to you and to your family and everyone who supported you. We're delighted to have you here.
Thank you, Trustee Lawrence. Okay. Now, the next item is the report out in closed session. So give me a moment to organize my notes. For item 3.1, the board received information on the topic of negotiations. For item 3.2, the numbers don't match. We did not discuss item 3.2, which was discipline, dismissal, or release or reassignment of public employees. For item 3.3, which was conference with legal counsel regarding initiation of litigation in closed session under item 3.3, the board voted by a vote of 5-0 to ratify the initiation of an administrative proceeding. More specific information shall be disclosed to any person upon inquiry unless it is determined by the district that such disclosure will jeopardize the district's ability to conclude the settlement negotiations to its advantage. Then the next item, 3.4, consideration to hear the appeal of a decision in a complainant against an employee according to board policy 1312.1. The board voted by a vote of 5-0 to decide not to hear an appeal of complaint against a district employee pursuant to board policy administrative regulation 1312.1. Now we are ready to proceed to item the expulsions, items 3.5.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the stipulated expulsion agreement for student number 01-26. The expulsion term is for the 2025-26 school year. During the expulsion term, student will attend the Opportunity Program.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Mason has made the motion regarding the stipulated agreement for student 01-26, and Trustee Lawrence has provided the second. We will move to the vote. We haven't done an expulsion in a while. Does the student trustee vote on the expulsion? Because it was closed session, the answer is no. Okay. I'm thinking through the process here. Thank you. Trustee McDougall, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Mason. Trustee Mason made it. Trustee Lawrence seconded it. Trustee McDougall has voted yes. Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Mason?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi? Trustee Mayo votes yes. We're waiting on the vote from Trustee Nzewi.
Oh, now I hear you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Please vote electronically. Okay, all right. We've changed up the agenda, so please be patient with us while we work out all of the situations with it. The second expulsion is for student 2-26.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the expulsion of student number 2-26 for the fall 2025 semester. School placement to be determined by student services prior to readmission. Student number 2-26 is required to meet the following conditions. Number 1, complete 10 hours of counseling to address anger management and conflict resolution. Number 2, show evidence of a successful school experience, which includes no violation of school rules and Ed Code number 48900 or 48915 or district rules and regulations of the new site, maintaining a 2.0 GPA or better, earning 30 credits, and having a 90% or better attendance rate, and remain away from all Mount Diablo Unified School District school campuses and all school activities except the new site.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we have a motion on by trustee Mason with a second from trustee McDougall regarding the expulsion of student 2-26. Trustee Nzewi, how do you vote?
Can I just say yes, because I lost all the audio if you're waiting for me.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Lawrence,
I vote yes.
trustee Mason,
Yes.
did I get everybody? Trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Mayo votes yes as well. So that motion is adopted 5-0-0. And we're ready to move on to item, the next expulsion, student 3-26 from the Mount Diablo School District.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the expulsion of student number 3-26 for the fall 2025 semester, school placement to be determined by student services. Prior to readmission, student number 3-26 is required to meet the following conditions. Number one, complete 10 hours of counseling to address anger management and conflict resolution. Number two, show evidence of a successful school experience, which includes no violation of school rules and ed code 48900 or 48915 or district rules and regulations of the new site, maintaining a 2.0 grade point average or better, earning 30 credits, and having a 90% or better attendance rate. Number three, remain away from all Mount Diablo Unified School District school campuses and all school activities.
Is there a second?
Second.
So on the expulsion of student 3-26, Ms. Mason has moved and trustee Lawrence has seconded the motion to expel the student. Trustee Mason, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi?
Yes.
Trustee McDougall?
Yes.
The motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote. Thank you. I believe we are ready to move on to public comment. The public may address the board regarding any item not on the agenda. Comment will also be allowed on each specific agenda item prior to board action. Speakers will have 3 minutes of time and they cannot share their minutes with another individual. Two speakers. Our first speaker this evening is Jenny Rose Jimenez. Welcome.
Second grader at Cambridge Elementary. Sorry. Hi, I'm a parent of a second grader at Cambridge Elementary School, and I'm here regarding their after-school program that this year is sponsored by Boys and Girls Club. I'm concerned because our students are not allowed to leave. We're not allowed to pick them up before 5:30. It really feels like they're being held hostage. We form really, really long lines. If you get there at 5:10, you're first in line, but you still have to wait another 20 minutes. Last Friday, we got there early to pick them up in 100-degree heat, and we still had to wait. Like, they won't let us pick our children up early. And I have a coworker who has a student at another school in Clayton and their after school program, and she can pick them up at any time. And it almost feels like there's this big discrepancy between a low income school and a higher income school. I understand it's federally funded, and students, the time that they're there, we receive a certain amount of funding for them, but it truly feels like students from one demographic are treated differently than students from another. We can't pick them up until 5:30, ends up being 5:40. We got to go home and do homework. By the time we get home at 6 o'clock, it's just really a very unhealthy afternoon, evening with your family, trying to rush homework and dinner in bed by 8 o'clock. I don't recall ever signing an agreement saying that we won't pick our children up before 5:30, but there was a line of 30 people waiting. If you miss, or if you try to pick them up early more than 3 times a month, you're out of the program, you're kicked out. I understand that if you have a specific class and a specific day, you can't pick them up early, but being able to pick your child up 10, 15 minutes early, as opposed to waiting in line until that 5:30, it just really feels demeaning if you pay attention to the demographic at my school versus other schools that they can pick their kids up at any time. I don't know how to get this to be changed since it's federally funded and all, but I just know a lot of parents are really upset. Not everyone would want to come here and voice their concern based on the demographics. But I just thought I'd let you guys know that we truly feel like our kids are being held hostage.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being an advocate, and I'm sure that staff will follow up and address your concerns.
President Mayo, could you briefly refresh myself and the audience as to public comment, the ability of board members to ask questions, or what protocol would be versus having staff follow up, and what that might look like?
So normally, board members do not ask questions of the respondents unless, or the individuals speakers. You can ask a clarifying question, but you don't engage in a discussion with them. And we typically refer the item to the superintendent and staff.
And we're not able to do so because of the Brown Act, because that's not an agendized. So I wanted to make sure the public was aware of that and make sure nothing had changed.
Okay.
But thank you for that clarification. I'm sure the superintendent and staff will be able to follow up on the concerns.
Maybe you should be chair.
No, thank you. One step at a time. And I'm
Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Lawrence. The next speaker is John Harrington. Welcome, sir.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Clark, board members. My name is John Harrington. I'm the music teacher at Pleasant Hill Middle School. I've been teaching for 24 years in California and 4 years here in Mount Diablo Unified, and I'm looking to finish off my career here. I came here to discuss a grievance that I had to file back in January of 2025 for a rat infestation in my classroom. Central came out and we did an assessment, and there were some things decided on, and we moved forward. But unfortunately, they didn't happen throughout the year and in the summertime. And so Wednesday before school started, I reached out with a quick email to everyone. Hey, everyone, unfortunately, the work didn't get done that we talked about, and we're starting next week. Well, after the weekend, I came back Monday morning and I opened up the doors and they decided to refinish the floors. They're looking beautiful. Sealed with polyurethane. The off-gassing was extreme. Can't go in there. It's not safe. Okay. I had no emails up to then. My principal had no emails that this was happening. We were displaced for the week. Okay. Throughout the 9 months, I've been told 4 or 5 times that it's safe to go back into the room, numerous times. It wasn't safe. I've been doing this a long time. I know what keeps people safe. And I had firsthand information. Central that was telling me that didn't have the firsthand information. They weren't coming down. They didn't talk to me. They weren't observing it, sent pictures. The biggest thing I want to bring this back to is that safety is the most important thing. We have to be safe. We can't be super far apart on what safe really is. And we got to have real data, safety data sheets. We got to know what's going on, and we have to communicate. That's the other side of it. Safety first, and then we have to communicate with each other, paramount, to make everything go smooth so we can all feel good and not be feeling anxiety with each other. This is very important. I think if we just followed the grievance procedure that's laid out, everything would have been great. Unfortunately, I didn't get the written procedure that was going to happen. I think central or maintenance or operations, I don't know what it's called, didn't prioritize that for the summer, didn't get it down. Without that grievance procedure in place, I think things got lost. And so here we are, and I just wanted you to be aware of that. I want it to go forward. It's looking great, but the room isn't done yet. There's things that haven't been finished, and it needs to get finished for the safety of the kids, for the future of the room. And so I can set up the recording studio there so the kids can really take this to a new level. That's really what's going on here. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Your comments have been heard. Next item is district organizations. Do we have a speaker card? Ms. Ortega, would you like to come forward and make your presentation? Thank you.
Get the glasses out. Good evening, President Mayo, trustees, newly appointed trustee Lawrence, and school board member Allen, Dr. Clark, and members of the audience. For those who do not know me, my name is Linda Ortega, and I am the president of the Mount Diablo Education Association, or MEDIA. I represent about 1,600 members in this district, and I just want to welcome all the new and returning MEDIA members back to school. I hope everyone had a restful summer break. I want to start by acknowledging those who worked on hosting the new staff orientation on Wednesday, July 30th. There were about 175 new Medea bargaining unit members hired. I want to thank everyone who was involved in the planning and welcoming the new hires to this event. I would like to acknowledge the work the Human Resources Department has done hiring and onboarding the new hires. What I would like to see is that all of the new hires are welcomed at their new sites and given all the materials they need to have a successful school year. I would like to encourage all the new hires to please reach out to their site administrator for any missing items they may need or to contact their Medea site rep if they need our assistance. Dr. Clark, I want to thank you for acknowledging the work my Medea members have done in preparation of this new school year. Many of our members spent hours preparing their classrooms and workstations to welcome their students. Many of these hours were outside of my members' site time, and I know firsthand how committed our educators are to their work and to their students. I also like to report that in the last couple of days, I was able to visit 2 of the new remodeled school sites. Yes, they look very nice, and I am thankful that the major construction has been completed. However, the classrooms are not yet finished. For example, each of the new classrooms that I visited was missing ceiling tiles. I have witnessed and have been told by the teachers that the sound in the classrooms gets so loud that some of the teachers are leaving school every day with headaches. One teacher informed me today that a substitute teacher refuses to sub in her class because of the noise level. As a classroom teacher myself, I know the importance of having students share and engage in conversations in their table groups. However, when the noise is too loud, no one is listening. When I asked about the tiles, I was told that they will be coming in September. So my question is, why weren't these installed over the summer and before the first day of school? This should be a priority, and our teachers and students shouldn't have to wait. For those who are wondering about the HVAC systems, the adverse working condition submissions have started again. The HVAC systems should be up and running before the start of the school year. I've been hearing how hot it is in certain classes and that fans were not ordered. So I would hope that somebody is listening and providing the school sites with the needed relief. Our teachers' working conditions are our students' learning conditions. And this is not just a slogan, it is a fact. Students cannot learn if their working conditions are affected. I also want to thank Mr. Harrington, John, for sharing his experiences at Pleasant Hill. I know he's just left, and I have walked his classroom, and I did see how beautiful the floors look, but there's a lot of work still to be done. Finally, I want to welcome everyone back to school, and I look forward to working collaboratively with the district to resolve all these issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 10.0, recognitions and resolutions. 10.1, Dr. Clark.
I'm going to call on Adrian Vargas, CBO, to discuss item 10.1. Green? There you go.
Great. All right. Thank you, Dr. Clark. So what we have before you is a resolution to raise the federal micro purchase threshold from 10,000 to 50,000 as allowed by the Federal Regulations Code, section 200.320. And really, this is to help streamline particularly our food service department. And again, I think that's just a reflection also just of price increases, but that's what we're asking for tonight.
Board members have any questions?
No, I will make a motion to approve resolution 25/26-4, self-certification increase of federal micro purchase threshold.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee McDougall. Are there any further questions or comments? Not, we'll move on to the vote. Trustee Barrera or Ray Anna, how do you vote?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Mason,
Yes.
trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
trustee Nzewi,
Yes.
And trustee Mayo votes yes. Please vote electronically. The motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote with support from our student trustee. Congratulations on your first vote. We're ready to move on to 10.2.
So I'll take this one as well. This is a resolution authorizing investment of monies and basically the delegation of authority. And the simplest terms, we're updating signatures, as well as running the resolution through this year. Gustavo found out that we haven't done this in many years, and the county treasurer's office is trying to create the process to do it on an annual basis. But it has been a few years since Mount Diablo has done the resolution and updated the signatories.
Trustees, do you have any questions? Ready for the motion?
Madam President, I move that the board approve resolution 2526-5, authorizing an investment of monies in the local agency investment fund for account number 75070008.
I need a second.
I second.
We have a motion by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee Barrera Orellana on the item 10.2, which is investing the monies in the local agency investment fund. Is there further discussion? Trustee Orellana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Lawrence, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Mason,
Yes.
trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Nzewe,
Yes.
and trustee Mayo votes yes. Please vote electronically. Item 10.2 is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote with support from our student trustee. Dr. Clark?
Yes, this next item, we're going to have Mr. Sheehy take both these items, but I do just want to mention, last year we had a situation where a teacher had to be removed from a classroom because they didn't meet the requirements that they had agreed to. And so that's what these next two resolutions are. Mr. Sheehy will explain them in detail, but we're giving them an opportunity to either enter a program or complete units or complete things within their credential. If they don't do it, then we have to do the painful removal of them from a classroom or from a position. We don't want to do that. I know our HR department works extremely closely with these individuals, and so I don't know if you were going to bring that up, but I just thought I would.
I don't even know why I need to talk now. You're good. No, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Clark. So the resolution tonight bringing forward is required by the California Teaching Commission. The commission replaced the emergency permit with the provisional internship permit, which provides applicants additional time to meet the subject competency requirements needed to enter an internship program. And the requirements of the CTC is that the names of these employees are made public, which is why they're here tonight in the resolution.
Questions from the board? Ready for the motion?
Madam President, I move that the board approve item 10.3, the review and potential, the board resolution 2526-6 for personnel with provisional internship permits.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee Mason on the item for review and potential approval of the board resolution 2526-6. Trustee Barrera Orellana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Nzewe, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Mason,
Yes.
trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
and trustee Mayo votes yes also. Please cast your ballots electronically.
I'm having trouble. To look at the resolution, I want to get out of it. So if I should go back to there.
There you go.
The motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote with support from our student trustee. Mr. Sheehy.
Yes, so next up, we have the variable term waivers. And this is a resolution brought forward tonight to allow employees who meet the minimum requirements and who require additional time to complete all necessary requirements for the appropriate credential, which authorizes service for the position assigned. And as Dr. Clark mentioned, our HR department, our credential specialists, they work very closely with these individuals, constantly checking in, monitoring, checking progress towards meeting the requirements for their credential.
And almost all of these are administrators, so it's not just teachers who go through this, but our administrators go through this as well. So I do, just for fairness, I want to point that out.
Madam President, I move that we approve 10.4 review and potential approval of Board Resolution 25/26-7 for personnel with variable term waivers.
A second.
So we have a motion by trustee McDougall with a second by trustee Barella Oriana. Further questions?
Just as a point of clarification, if I may, I think Board Member McDougall did the same thing I did, and just to make sure that we're clear on the that the resolution would actually not be the review and potential approval, but rather it would be just to move the approval. If I could
Amend the motion. Okay. Well, it's not you're correcting the motion. Otherwise, do we need to start over and place a new motion on the floor? Okay. Everybody understands what we are doing? Okay. Trustee Barrera Rayana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Mason,
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
yes.
Trustee McDougall,
Yes.
Trustee Adzewi,
Yes.
Trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please vote electronically. And the motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote with support from our student trustee. Thank you very much.
On this next item, Madam President, I just want to acknowledge the fact that our HR department was extremely busy over summer, and although we're just looking at 3 appointments tonight, I mean, I know we were far busier than that, but I think the HR department has done a really good job in hiring this year. Got a lot of hiring done in the spring, and definitely got a lot of hiring done where this board was able to approve those hires in its regular session. So, Mr. Sheehy.
I have a question first. Will we be considering these separately or as a group?
As a group.
Thank you.
So tonight, the Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and ratification the appointments of 3 elementary school principals: Alexander Bennett at Monte Gardens Elementary School, Kai Dwyer at Silverwood Elementary School, Steve Porras at Ignacio Valley Elementary School. The HR department is very excited for these individuals. They've already hit the ground running. I visited each of them at their sites, and it's great to see the energy that they're bringing to their community, and we look forward to watching them grow here in Mount Diablo. With that, I leave this. We have Ms. Kai Dwyer. Yeah, is here tonight. Yes.
All right. May I have a motion?
I move to ratify the appointments of the elementary school administrators as listed.
Second.
So there's a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee Lawrence to approve or ratify the personnel appointments for Alexander Bennett at Monte Gardens, Kai Dwyer at Silverwood Elementary School, and Steve Porras at Ignacio Valley Elementary School. Trustee Barrera or Rayana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Mason?
Yes.
Trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please cast your electronic ballot. And the motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote. Congratulations. And please come forward and say a few words. And if you have supporters in the audience, introduce them.
20 seconds.
Oh,
Good evening, President Mayo, trustees, Dr. Clark. My family is not here physically, but emotionally they are. I am really grateful for this opportunity. I was an intern at Concord High in 2010, and it's a really big deal to be back here 15 years later. I love my Skyhawk community. Aaron and Lauren have been so supportive, as have the tenured elementary principals and my new principal friends. We're like a little group. So I really feel like I'm in the right place and that this is just an upgrade for me. And I love my little Skyhawks, and I'm excited.
So thank you and welcome.
We did not notice that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Thank you.
So we're ready for reports and information. 12.1 is the budget update. Dr. Clark?
Yes, we have Mr. Vargas, who's going to give us an update on the 25-26 budget. So that he has a presentation, and we're excited to see what is included.
I don't know if I'll be as exciting as the introduction of the new principal, but I will try. And I don't think I'll keep it under 20 seconds. So with that, so I have a 25-26 budget update. We adopted our budget before the state or Governor Newsom signed the state enacted budget. So with that, it was signed on June 27th. Also, a couple of additional budget trailer bills that were related to streamlining environmental review for housing and infrastructure development. I don't know if you followed the news, but that was a really big piece of Governor Newsom's plan to sign off on that budget. It addresses a projected $12 billion deficit using a combination of borrowing, deferred payments, funding shifts, and tapping reserves. And as I like to think, I wish we could do that, but we can't. But the state, that's how they're balancing the budget. So with the enacted budget, it does maintain the 2.3% COLA for LCFF and other categorical programs. One, for example, is special ed. So our funding for that is also getting the 2.3%. The state enacted budget approved or also has the 1.7 billion that I talked about at the adoption for one-time discretionary block grant. School Services is projecting that to be at about 8.5 million in one-time funds. The budget also included more funding related to the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. That's an additional 1.5 million for Mount Diablo. Again, this is one-time funds, and this can be used all the way through the 27-28 fiscal year. Additionally, the proposal related to the TK add-on was part of the state enacted budget. So that was a big piece for Mount Diablo, and that estimate is roughly between 2.2 million to 2.6 million, and that's dependent on our enrollment, and then of course how much students come to school every day. So this calculation at the low end is roughly about 1,200 students at a 90% attendance ratio. And again, the higher is just taking a higher enrollment, which could be about 1,300. And then these revenue adjustments will be part of our first interim, which will be presented all the way in December. So just FYI on that. Also, the state enacted budget had an increase to the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program of about 515 million. The access threshold was lowered to 55%. We should see some additional funding from this proposal being in the enacted budget. I don't know the exact dollar amount, but we should see some additional dollars. 480 million for ELA, ELD aligned literacy improvements, 300 million for student teacher stipends, and then ongoing and one-time support for school nutrition and other programs listed here. But for school nutrition, we're continuing universal meals for the 25-26 year. And I would say the biggest thing why I have it highlighted is we have deferrals built into the 25-26 budget of 1.9 billion. So basically right now, as it stands, our cash disbursement that we would expect to receive in June of 2026 we will not receive until July of 2026. And the only reason why I point that out is if the state gets into trouble, if you've been around a long time, you would remember deferrals, deficit revenue limits. My guess is that they will do more deferrals. They will kick this down the road. So with that, just things to think about. Again, the state budget, the financial impact of the wildfires. As a reminder, LA County has a tax extension deadline through the middle of October. I think it's the 15th. So we're not going to get their data till November. So that could impact the budget. And if I remember the stat, I think they make up 20% of tax receipts. So that's a big data point that we will need. Again, enrollment and student absence rates. We're monitoring that. The opening enrollment was pretty close to our projection, which I believe was 29,496, something like that. But we continue to monitor that, as well as students coming because of what is happening, especially down south. I mean, I'm reading all those different articles about ICE being down there. So again, that's a big thing for us because our budget is built off 93.5% as the attendance ratio. I know in talking with Dr. Aguili, like we are going to take advantage of the new independent study rules to help bolster our attendance ratios, or at least try to mitigate maybe any potential drops in that. And then the other thing is we are not settled with all our bargaining units, so that will have an impact on our budget. And then just federal policy changes. I mean, about a month ago, I thought I'd be talking about the federal, freeze on funds, but that has been released. So I didn't include this in the budget update, but potentially, I mean, we've been dealing with that since February. So we just don't know what will come and what the future holds for that. And then just ongoing cost pressures, pension rates, health benefits, and then insurance and utilities. And then moving into the budget calendar, we're doing the budget update, which is pretty close to a budget revise or the 45-day revise. We're not changing our budget, so we'll make those changes at the first interim report. The fiscal team is working on the year-end closing for the 24-25 fiscal year. We'll be here September 10th to report out on that. And then we'll start the budget development process probably the end of September, early October. Our first interim report will be presented, as I said earlier, in December. Our audit report is due to the State Controller's Office, CDE, and the County Office of Ed. And then January 2026, we start this process all over again. So with that, I will take any questions.
Do board members have questions? Mr. Lawrence, jump in.
Unfortunately, some things never change. Phrases like May budget revise and things that are just etched into my memory. But I guess just a couple of the things that I have a particular concern about are that the state of California's budget is incredibly cyclical and tied to revenues, which can be heavily impacted, especially if we see tariffs and we see an economic slowdown. And so that is one concern that I have. And then just to, one thing I'm already hearing is that there is a great deal of fear and apprehension in our community, and that, we as a large, diverse district are particularly negatively impacted by what I think is a ill-cited funding mechanism, which is the ADA. And so at 93.5, I think we look at that as being aspirational, but when people are scared because that they see that ICE is raiding schools, raiding after school programs, raiding courthouses, and that people, citizens are scared. People are scared to come to school, to show up, and that is something that I have a great deal of concern about. And so I think that the challenges facing us in public education have never been greater than they are today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vargas. Item 12.2, facilities update, summer projects.
Yes, we're gonna, well, I'll let Mr. Vargas introduce Melanie, but just there was so much going on this summer, and it was really seamless in some places. It was just really want to take hats off to Melanie and her team, and working with all the contractors and different folks who were here on the district. The three schools that received the refresh was incredibly awesome. I think that all three of those schools deserved it, and I believe that those students and families are very, very appreciative, and we could not be happier. But that was not the only thing that was taking place this summer, and so Melanie's going to go into detail about that, and just really want to acknowledge her and thank her. She takes a lot of unnecessary criticism for doing the work that she does. And I want to applaud her for doing a position that is primarily held by men. And she is, being a role model for people to say, if you work hard and you stick with it, then regardless of gender or things like that, that you can achieve. So very pleased with the work that Melanie's been doing. And I think this summer was an example of that work. So I don't know what your presentation is going to say, but hopefully, okay, good. Hopefully you back up all the stuff I said. Thank you.
So there's not much for me to add. But I will say the same, like going to the 3 school openings was just, I'm on CC'd on a lot of different emails, and to go to Rio Vista first, and I had Dr. Clark with me across the street, and we were getting out of our cars to walk over, and I was there a year ago, and that it was a big transformation from a year ago. And just to see Rio Vista the first one, and then just to see MDE, like I remember when that was just stripped, and that front office there was nothing in it but studs, and then you see what the product was, or what became of it. And yes, there are things still to do at each of those sites, but just to see the overall completion of work, I commend Melanie. Like, I've been there and try to be there all along the way, but just to see the end product of those 3 sites, and what the Measure J bond funds went towards. So with that, I have Melanie Kozlow to talk about that, and as well as some other projects that we did over the summer. But I just want to commend Melanie on following through on the work. It's not easy, and I think it was a really great job. So thank you.
20 seconds. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Clark, Adrian, thank you for the kind words, both of you. It is a lot of responsibility, but I get up every day excited to come to work and excited to support the district and all the programs that our district has to offer to our community. So I will be brief. It's a lot of slides, a lot of information, but I want to just highlight some of the work. So one of the divisions or departments that fits under my authority is our facility construction department. The majority of that is bond funded projects, but we also have other facility funds and other funding things. Obviously, Dr. Clark and Adrian both touched on the elementary modernization project. So this was 3 major refresh projects of sites, that are 60, 70 years old. And while the structures themselves have remained the same, we created new interior spaces as you walk through those campuses, whether it be on the outside and you see the new landscape and the new entry points, but really walking into these classrooms, the new flooring, the new ceilings, paint. We replaced some HVAC equipment where it was aged out. We did some maintenance work on some others. We're still doing some maintenance work there. we have scope. Some of it is still left to be done, but new doors, tack boards, whiteboards, casework, all new furniture, really that creation of the 21st century classroom that was, the vision for our district. We also upgraded our emergency response system. So the old, clock and speaker are now an upgraded system that sits on our technology network. We really partnered with our IT department. And so all of those services can be used in response to dealing with an unfortunate emergency if we had one at one of our campuses, electrical and data infrastructure enhancements, and then just, upgrading our technology, having usable, functionable Wi-Fi in every single learning space was a plan from our technology department's long-term plan. And together with my colleagues from the IT department, we have created that at these 3 campuses. So just very quickly, these are pictures from our kickoff day. This is Mount Diablo Elementary. We couldn't do it without the support of our taxpayers, and so we do have some signage there. Our staff and community down in the bottom left, some of our littlest students who were on site that day walking across the campus. But just really, this is just the vision of taking our existing spaces and what we've created. These are pictures at Meadow Homes. Very, very, very large community turnout over there. That's where we finished our day last Tuesday, and that was just very exciting. Working with our site administrator there, we coordinated a mural going up, and so I can't take the responsibility for that bottom right photo there with the Meadow Homes, but it was all just strategically planned so that we could turn that over all at the same time to the communities, and just all the color matching and all of these different spaces that we have. And then this is Rio Vista Elementary School. One of the things that some of you may have spoken with me about or heard me say before, the community of Bay Point, when it was originally built compared to what it is now, was a little bit different. Most of our schools in the Bay Point community are, maybe walking communities, or they were originally walking communities, and now they're commuting communities. And so we didn't have a safe drop-off space at Rio Vista for the amount of families that come through there and drop off and also pick up their kids. And so we've created a very exciting new entry point. I was actually with Janice, our lovely principal, out at Rio Vista this afternoon, and she just said, 1 week in, it is amazing to see how excited these families are to be able to pull through, drop their kids off, and also the same on the return, instead of parking, in an unsafe, busy street. So those are just some of the pictures there. And again, we just want to say that, like, without the community support of our 2018 general obligation bond, none of this work and some of the other work that we've completed could be possible. But we're really excited for this. Moving on, unfortunately, I don't have any pretty pictures of our other site technology infrastructure. Most of that happens between the walls, in the ceilings, that sort of thing. But going along with the technology infrastructure that we did completed our refresh projects, we also have sites that are getting just the technology upgrade. So currently we're at Willow Creek finishing out that project. We're at Loma Vista. And so it is Loma Vista Adult Center, but as we know, it houses many district programs. We are out at Northgate High School, Wren Avenue, and then we just started Ayers Elementary School. Coming up is going to be Gregory Gardens, which is right at the kickoff point, the Dent Center. To later this evening, we are going to see a bid being, or a contract being brought forward for our technology infrastructure here. Later this fall, we'll see Central Services, which houses the rest of our operational. So my department, Maintenance, Operations, and Facilities, my colleague, Elizabeth's Purchasing and Warehouse Department, Chris Lepe's Transportation Department, and Alexandra Emmett's Food and Nutrition Services. We all sit over there, and we will be getting the technology upgrade. And that will just allow us to better serve all the programs within the district. And then future plans, Matt Russo, our IT director, and that is not his correct title, but you know who I mean. We are working on plans for Hidden Valley and Sun Terrace as well. Additional projects. So some of these are projects that were not bond funded, but funded through other facility funds. So we did roofing replacements at Ayers Elementary, Delta View, Shadeland Sunrise, and Valley View. I think we have somewhere about four or five schools left, and then we can say the entire district has new roofing. We did an interior project. I have a couple interior painting project at Northgate. Northgate is an interesting campus. Since we were there for the technology infrastructure project, it was the right time to do a refresh. We know that with future modernization, the actual structure of Northgate probably won't change too much. We'll have some internal changes if we're allowed in the future, but just really it was the right time to do a much needed deferred maintenance project by painting. We didn't do all the spaces, but we did all the main hallways and entry locations. We worked with our food and nutrition department to support her food service improvement painting. And so we did paint out at Rio Vista and Meadow Homes. We have Northgate's finalizing that one over there this coming weekend. And then with Schneider Electric and our controls project, just finalizing those last little bits of our dashboard programming and making sure that our emergency response program, meaning let's say we have an event over at the Martinez, whatever that is over there, sorry.
Valley.
At Hidden Valley, and we needed to shut that, system down, making sure that all of those functions are working. And then, all of this work took place during summer. And when we say summer, sometimes we stretch it a little bit, started in early spring, but the majority of the work took place over summer. And so, along with just some paving improvements at a few sites, some utility repairs, much needed for utility repairs, and then just some annual things like gym floor refinishing, additional HVAC replacements, all the things listed, including a very exciting Sequoia Elementary playground upgrade that we did in collaboration with the parent group out there. We did somewhere around $33 million in construction over this last summer, a little bit of an extended summer. And so that's a lot for our district in the recent years. And so I couldn't do it without all those that support me. But I will just say I'm very proud of what we've brought forward in the district this summer. And I couldn't let the presentation go by without just touching on my other divisions. So our maintenance department, right now we are in the middle of our Williams County inspections. So we have 23 inspections happening this week. And so my custodial and operations team is heading the actual inspections to make sure that we're everywhere the inspector needs us to be. But when you hear us talk about our maintenance department and priorities, it's based on the inspections that we undergo, which are several throughout the year. Williams inspections, fit inspections, county fire protection inspections. And so sometimes we have to say no to some other site requested things. We've set up a new procedure where sites can reach out to us and we can prioritize things a little bit better, but we really have to address those items that are flagged in these inspections. And I think the way that we're doing things this year, we're going to be able to see our response time much quicker and greater so that next year we don't have as many deficiencies. We worked on TKK playground compliance. We are just about done. We had 26, I think, what used to be kindergarten play structures. They are now TKK that needed compliance. It was supposed to be less than that. They did another code change in January, so we added a few more. So 16 of the 26 are complete. We should be finished being in compliance in about a week and a half. And so I'm in communication with Lauren and Aaron and all of our elementary principals so they know where they are on that. And then, just always making improvements to the way that we communicate and receive requests from our school sites. Landscape division, we have a wonderful newer, he's been here just a year, our landscape manager, the vision that he has for the landscape department and really taking that entry point beautification and work backwards or work towards the back is really the initiative that he has. And he's been doing a lot of training with his staff, and then obviously managing exterior pests and those sort of things. So we'll be seeing a lot more curb appeal projects coming forward, as well as, you know, just dealing with the amount of property that we have. And then custodial operations, we took it back to the basics. We did a very large training the day after school released, right before summer school started. And we emphasized on full cleaning, what summer deep clean is actually supposed to be, so that across all of our sites, we could provide better care. And then just more of like a holistic approach, so that when teachers return to their classrooms, they could feel, you know, they could see the difference. It wasn't just that we had shiny floors, but like from the top to the bottom, we were clean, and we have a plan in place to be able to continue that through the year. Low-level maintenance training. We have so many summer programs, whether it be our own program, summer school, extended learning, our CARES program, our community users that offer summer camps. I think besides the couple of schools that I closed for construction, we had 2 schools that did not have program. With summer being so short, it's a lot of work for our custodial department to be able to clean in sometimes 3 weeks. And so I'm really proud of the work that's happening there. We are still and always dealing with the hiring, you know, just a vacancy issue within the custodial department. We're working very closely with our partners in HR, and I'm so pleased with the way that that is going. But it seems like every time we get a sub, they become permanent, and we need more subs. So we're just constantly working on that. And that's what we accomplished this summer. Any questions?
Great.
Congratulations. Trustees, do you have comments or questions?
It is an amazing list, and a thank you to you and to all your team, but especially the folks who, you know, this was not quite as hot a summer, but still our summers are very hot, and there are people out there working in the underneath the hot sun, and the amount of physical labor and what they do on behalf of our students and our community is just very much appreciated.
I just wanted to say, when I was looking at your report online, I remembered back to when we were looking at Measure J, and we went out to all the schools and people had their wish list. And I was impressed with, we heard improved drop off, which I saw, improved curb appeal, which I've seen, lighting, air conditioning. It seems like we're hitting technology. We are hitting all of those things. Unfortunately, we can't do all of the schools at one time, but it's good to see that we're moving forward on that plan that we set up some time ago, and starting to be able to check things off the list. And I'll just tell you that the reason there was no room for drop off at Riverview back in the day is because, other than Shore Acres, there was nothing but empty fields all around it. So, and it was only meant for 7th and 8th graders. So it needed to be brought up to our elementary standards. So thank you for that.
The work has been amazing, and I do want to give a call out, in addition to everyone that was working on projects, to the landscaping department, because I have seen the results of their efforts in our Pleasant Hill schools as I'm driving through the community. And you are correct, the working from the curb into the campus has made an effect on the the beautification of our front of our schools. And I've also observed our pickup trucks hauling the material away, including trees that have been pruned. So special thanks to all of them. Okay. Thank you very much.
I
Go ahead.
just want to also echo the superintendent's comments of Ms. Kozlow. It's been a pleasure to see over the years you taking on increasing responsibility and the tremendous job that you have done, and the heights with which you have led your department. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you. So we're ready for board member reports. Trustee McDougall, would you like to go first?
I'm sure the teachers and students and maintenance workers and the personnel, even in administration, think that that summer break was too short. I remember fondly the Memorial Day to Labor Day breaks we used to have back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. That's kind of revealing my age, but we used to have 3 months. And I know that it's hard to do all those maintenance projects at the schools when you've got about 2 months or less to do it. And I was finally able to get a week-long trip into Minnesota, where I went canoeing in the Boundary Waters area, which was most enjoyable. Then back here on the 23rd of July, I attended the welcome back session for the Mount Diablo administrators at Mount Diablo High School. Very educational, and I appreciate the chance to attend that. On the 4th of August, we were here voting for Brian to be our replacement. Glad to have you on board, Brian.
Thank you.
And I think we drew a well-qualified group of individuals. So I think that was a compliment to what we're trying to do here, and we have a highly qualified replacement. And then on the 5th of August, I attended this reopening of the 3 elementary schools, or at least 2 of them, Mount Diablo and Meadow Homes, and was very impressed with the remodeling work. It's been mentioned already how extensive it was, and I have to commend them and the contractors because they did an excellent job on really turning around schools that look, well, they were 70-year-old schools, and so now they're looking like modern schools. So it was really an accomplishment. Finally, I do want to mention that I'm going to resume my town halls in September 2nd on Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. It will be via Zoom. So there will be information coming out on that later. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Nzewe, would you like to share something with us?
I will carry you all till I'm back in person in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Mason.
I was able to attend the Rio Vista ribbon cutting and the Monte Gardens, and I was shocked to see they were kind of the same color. Never dawned on me before, but I thought, oh, good, maybe we saved on paint on that at least. It was very nice. Families were very excited, looked very good. I went to Rio Vista's back to school night last night. It was packed. The parents are very excited about the new school and looking forward to getting their kids on schedule again. And I also went to the CAC meeting last night where Dr. Geely gave a presentation, I believe called Dial It In, where it was very informative for the parents. I hope a lot were listening. There wasn't a lot there, but hopefully a lot listening online about how important it is when you're having an issue at the school that you start at the right place, because if you don't, you often get frustrated. So she kind of walked them through, if this is your issue, here's who you're going to want to start with, whether it's going to be your classroom teacher or the office manager, whatever your problem needed to be. She was able to direct parents to where they would go to get the answers that they would want to make their year smoother. The parents there all seem like they're happy and have their kids back in school, and very anxious to move on with the school year. And the first day of school, I visited the 5 schools in Bay Point. And the second day, I visited the 5 schools in Concord. And I will be dropping in at a school in your area soon. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Ambitious as always. Trustee Bonera, I apologize. Oriana, would you like to make a comment?
Yes, I would just like to say congratulations for like the first week of school, the new year 2025-2026. I also wanted to talk about restarting the student advisory committee to highlight our students' voices as an integral part of our community as our district.
Okay. Thank you. Trustee Lawrence.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to reintroduce myself. It is nice to be back. And so I was fortunate to have the opportunity to join several of the other fellow board members. At one of the reopenings, I was able to make it to Meadow Homes, which was incredibly impressive. On the first day of school, I had the opportunity to tour Ignacio Valley High School and Northgate High School with principals and admins from those schools, and lots of excitement. I'm sure nothing compared to what was happening at Concord High, but nonetheless, they are doing their best. Lots of great things happening there. And then during the report on facilities, just something that hit me when it came to pest control, I think probably one of my most memorable moments was when we learned about the uses of coyote urine to chase off pests. And so I just want to, something that's changed during my time on the board, by far the most interesting, challenging, and entertaining speaker was someone who I was fortunate enough over the time to, I did not know him well, but to develop a friendship with Willie Mims. And it saddens me that he is no longer with us and will no longer be here, but his spirit remains. But that was just something that struck me and brought a smile to my face as I thought of Willie Mims during that. And so I'm incredibly excited to be back here with you and to continue the work that's happening on behalf of our students. So thank you.
Well, mere fact that you mentioned he's still here.
Yes.
Yes. He would be very proud of our 3 schools that were in the modernization program, but he would chide us about getting busy and modernizing all the remainder sites.
Indeed.
So I'll share a few things that I was able to accomplish. July 10th, I attended the special meeting called by the chair for the Measure J Community Bond Oversight meeting that was held here at Dent Center. July 17th, I participated in the Budget Perspectives Workshop on the Budget Act, sponsored by Capital Advisors, CSBA, and AXA. Even though it was online, it was very informative. And it's also, what do I want to say? There's always a little bit of humor thrown in with the presentations as the presenters move along. But it was very serious because of the status of the budget. I was also attended the welcome back for the school administrators at Mount Diablo High School. And as always, I am so proud of Mount Diablo High School's custodian crew because the multi-use room floor you can see your face in. And every time I have been in that multi-use room, it's been the same way. So congratulations to the custodial crew that works out at Mount Diablo High School. On July 24th, Ms. Mason and I attended the final 2025 graduation ceremony at Concord High School. We congratulated and recognized 44 additional graduates from all of our high schools. And that's amazing. So thank you for the staff that support the students to make that achievement, and their families too. On July 30th, we had the new teacher orientation, and it was Medea and the district did a great job in welcoming all of the new teachers, and Northgate was beautifully clean and welcoming for everyone that attended. On July 31st, I attended the Extended Learning Summer Internship Recognition coordinated by Mount Diablo High School Career Pathways. And we celebrated 72 interns that were involved in work experience projects this summer. And we recognized 26 intern hosts. So I want to thank the hosts who welcomed our students. And I think whenever we have interns in our programs, not only do we learn as adults, but the students learn as well. And so thank you to Ms. Fontanella for working on that for our students this summer. Thank you, Ms. Mason, for attending the Special Education Community Advisory Committee meeting. I reviewed the PowerPoint that's posted on the website about who to call for which concern. So if you go to the Special Education Department and then click on the Community Advisory Committee, you can see the PowerPoint that's posted there, and it's excellent. And then on August 14th, which is tomorrow night at 5 o'clock, there will be a special meeting called by the chair for the Measure J Community Bond Oversight Committee meeting, and it will be held here in this room. And I just wanted to welcome everybody. I skipped that part in my comments, but as we begin this school year, I want to recommit myself to these phrases. Character matters, integrity matters, humility matters, decency matters, kindness matters, morality matters, and humanity matter, because our children are watching. So, Dr. Clark.
Well said.
Great. Thank you. So I'm just extremely excited for the start of school. We've had a very smooth opening, welcoming close to 29,000 students, 55 schools, and it has been it's always incredible just this time of year to start school and to start whether it's TK students or seniors in high school or students entering middle school. It is just such a gift, and I'm honored and thankful to be able to work with young people as a career for the past plus 30 years. Just before I start my presentation, and it's a short presentation, I do just want to acknowledge how important it is, the work that we do, and how instead of complaining and just talking about having kind of this negative lens on things, to have that positive lens. We lost a student over the weekend, a high school student, and I won't go into detail, but it just reminds us just how important our work is with our students, and we really need to give our very best to them each and every day, and it just even commits me more to this work, and so just wanted to acknowledge that and acknowledge the family and our student community and staff community who's grieving now. So we have our LCAP goals here, and again, I'm not going to go over them all during my report. I'm going to highlight goal 3, but you're going to hear more and more about these goals as we go through this year, because this really is where our work is centered. So again, goal 1 really focuses on the students, on making sure all of our students receive what they need to be successful in both college and career. And then number 2 is really about the adults in our system and making sure that they understand their mission is to create a safe and welcoming environment for all students, and to be highly qualified, highly trained. And I think kind of echoing, what you just committed to, President Mayo, about, just integrity and doing the right thing. So that's really about our staff. Number 3 is about really partnering with our families and communities, students, community, families. That's who we are here to serve. We're not here to serve, our adults or me or anything like that. We're here to serve our students and families. And when we have students who have historically, not performed to the level that they expect, again, not blaming, not pointing fingers, but really just looking in the mirror as adults who are getting paid. What can we do to fix this? And one of the things is setting tangible goals to be able to provide those students with high expectations, but the support to get to where they want to go to. So that's really what goal 4 focuses on. And goal 5 is 2 very, very special places in our district. Crossroads is the only school in Contra Costa County where teen mothers can attend and still stay on track for graduating. And I'm extremely proud on that alone, which separates Mount Diablo from every other district in the county, that we provide our students that service, but then also just the amazing work that's been done at Olympic High School. And again, I always talk about all of our continuation schools being state model continuation schools, something we're very, very proud of. We're still working with CCEE because we still have students who have historically not met the expectations that we have for them. And so we're going to continue that work, and we're going to continue it authentically and putting all of our efforts into it until we are able to raise the bar for all of our students. So this is the goal that we're trying to get to. I don't care if you're a TK or a middle schooler or a senior. We're trying to get to this goal, and I love these pictures from College Now because they really pull together students from all of our schools who are basically saying, I want to try something different. And I'm just always amazed by their bravery when it's really hard for high school students to kind of step outside of the group and to do things, without just kind of following everyone else or trying to, just fit in. I'm always amazed by these students. So I wanted to start with that picture. Our enrollment center. This is a picture of our enrollment center. A few years back, as we were doing enrollment at 55 different sites and having families go through 55 different processes and 55 different experiences, we really saw it important to bring that system into one place. And so, Aurelia Busamechi is our new director of student services around enrollment services, and the enrollment center has been hopping for all summer, really, but like for the last couple of weeks, it's as if people thought they were back in the 50s and 60s and thought school started after Labor Day, and then realized, oh no, it's starting now. So we have all these families lining up, tons of families coming in and registering. And again, I don't have the picture, but there's another picture of our enrollment team. And so you take your best and brightest and most welcoming people and you put them all in a center, and then that's the first experience that our students and families experience as they enroll in our district. And so just really wanted to call attention to that. I also just wanted to, again, in the spirit of Mount Diablo, our support office for access and resources, these are, just all the resources that are available for families. This is a very, all of our families, we have 29,000 students. Every experience is different and all have different needs. And so we can't just take this on with a one size fits all approach. And so, in this particular department, they really, interact with the community and interact with our families to try to get families what they need. And basics that many of us take for granted. But on the right, there is a picture of high school girl tops of clothing, or high school girls tops again, boys tops, things like that. There's bins and bins of clothes, lightly used or new clothes donated, because we want every student to have their basics. And again, we don't do this with any shame. We're very proud about this, and families are very proud, but we're willing to lend a helping hand. And I think that really builds on the spirit of Mount Diablo and why I'm so proud to be a part of this team and this organization. So, and there's tons of pictures. If you haven't had a chance to go by the SOAR office, I would highly recommend going by there. We talked about it earlier. Our students have to be safe first and foremost before we can do anything else. Every school, every building has a safety plan. We did it a year or two back, and so, we do it in cycles, but we will be doing active shooter training. We've done this for all of our administrators. We've opened it up for our communities at times, and we'll continue that. We have online say something access for our high school students. As we look at school shootings that unfortunately take place regularly in this country, the majority of those shootings, someone knew about it ahead of time. And so this is a system that we have that has actually uncovered either students crying out for help or helped us prevent some violence from happening at our schools. And so we have the Say Something app on our websites targeted for our upper grade students. We have counselors at every school, and I know, we can get into case size and things like that, but we do have counselors, and in the world of budget cuts, hopefully we can continue to keep them. But they do amazing works, and we have counselors who wear all sorts of different hats, whether it's college and career, whether it's academic counselors, whether it's social emotional counselors, all sorts of things. every high school and now moving into the middle schools, we have wellness rooms. And so those are places where students can go to get support and just deal with some of the stresses of being a young person in today's world, which all of our students go through something at one time during their experience. And so here's a room for that. Our Yonder pouches, which, you know, rolled out at Olympic High School and then spread to Prospect and then was picked up by Mount Diablo and YV, is now at College Park, Northgate, and Concord High. And again, this is for safety, not physical safety, but mental safety. The amount of bullying, the amount of body image issues, the amount of social media, like the fear of missing out, the fear of presenting that everything is fine in life when it's not. Those are things that we're looking to curb and to, you know, we give this powerful tool to our students with no training, no nothing, and then we have adults who can't even handle social media, and then we expect our students to be able to handle social media and all the challenges with high school. So we're excited about the Yonder pouches. Melanie brought up earlier about cameras and safety features. And so we do have cameras around our district, you know, cameras outside, cameras in the lobbies, cameras in offices, things like that. We do not have cameras in bathrooms. We may have them outside the bathroom so we can monitor who's going in and out. But our district is equipped with cameras. That is a safety feature, not only student safety and adult safety, but also to protect our property and to be able to do investigation. And we have fences and locks. We have partnerships with local law enforcement. I had a meeting this morning with two of our Concord police officers who support us at our schools, and they're just two incredible individuals who are very committed to their work and very committed to Mount Diablo and our students. And we also have that all around. When first day of school, I was at Bel Air doing pickup duty, and there were two county sheriffs who were just stopping by to welcome. And so the three of us did drop off duty at Bel Air, and it was fun, right? And so anyway, just great relationships with them. And then communication. You know, we do communicate regularly with our communities. It's my expectations that our principals, when appropriate, that they will send out messages that are specific to their schools, stranger danger, a threat that maybe came in, or a sickness that's out there or something. But then if it's going to cover multiple schools or multiple areas, then I'll send that out, or we'll do that centrally here. But communication really is key. And then through all of this, relationships. Relationships are so important that we need to have. That's how we keep everyone safe, is knowing like this person has changed. And it can even be like employees, right? Someone's going through a divorce, someone's being abused, someone's going through a substance issue or something like that. To see a change in that person, then we can seek help. Same with our students, same with our families. So relationships really is the thing that pulls all of that together. None of those work in isolation, but when you start combining those processes and practices, then you create that safe environment. So just wanted to touch on that. If you haven't already, read our Friday letter. I call it, telling our story. We're not going to let other people who don't know what's going on in our schools tell our story, or we're not going to, let people say a narrative about our schools that's not true. So in the Friday letter, we highlight our students, we highlight our faculty and staff, we highlight our communities and things that are taking place. So I would just really encourage folks to read our Friday letter. Our Friday letter is shared nationally, and so folks from all over the country read our Friday letter, and I get messages over and over about the things that we're doing, and they want information about things that are happening here in Mount Diablo. As I said, I was going to talk about LCAP 3, really about that family and community partnerships. And so if you're a principal and you're handy with the recording, just record the next 5 minutes and then share this with your families, because this is what it means to be a partner with your community. And parents ask all the time, how can I get involved? How can I do this and that? So what I have to say goes to every single parent, every single adult who's invested in our students. We have 29,000 students, so there's at least 60,000 adults that care about those students. And I think actually that number could be multiplied. any one of those people can get involved in the many opportunities that we have. So whether it is our community advisory committee that mainly works with our students with special needs, that covers all cities, all socioeconomic levels, all races, all genders, everything. Students learn differently in that area. So this is an area where you can get, you can be a part of a team, get that support and be a part of that committee. Our district English language advisory committee, DLAC, that's something that is vibrant, and we want representatives from every single school. You know, we're so fortunate to have so many different languages spoken in our district, and this is a way to learn about how students learn, what policies are there, what are we doing in our classrooms to help students assimilate to English and basically not give up their home language and things of that nature. Parent Advisory Committee. Although we take representatives from every school, all of these meetings, every single thing that I'm talking about is open to the public, is open to everybody. So even if you aren't on the Parent Advisory Committee, you can come to the Parent Advisory Committee and hear from myself or hear from our Chief Academic Officer, Samantha Allen. We bring in different guests to come speak about school district operations and business. But those are three wonderful things to get involved with. At the site level, our African American Parent Advisory Council, our APAC, that's something that started a couple years ago as a result of our disproportionality within our district. So it's really just empowering our African American families and parents who historically have not felt included. So this is a way where they can, get information about the schools and then join our regular parent groups at campuses and things to that nature. But our parent-teacher associations, we have extremely strong PTAs throughout the district. There's not a PTA at every school, but there's some sort of parent organization. But PTA is a great organization with a long history, and it's vibrant in our district. And then you have parent-teacher organizations, which are called PTOs. Those are other parent groups. And again, you can be an officer in these groups. You can just go to the meeting, or you can just read the minutes. All of that is partnering with the district. It can be that little. And I understand people are working full-time jobs. People are stay-home parents. People are commuting or whatever. Whatever your situation is, there's something that you can be a part of on this list here. School site councils. School site councils is a great way to learn about the operations of a school. You are in charge of a budget on school site council, and you have input. They may not do everything that you may want or ask, but you at least are part of the process. So I would highly recommend getting involved in any of these opportunities. And this is what family and community partnership looks like. Then district level. Budget advisory committees. If you're interested on how our budget works or want to get information or learn the complications of school district funding, that's a great way. Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. I think we heard we have a meeting tomorrow. So this is a way people can come. It's a public meeting. Even if you're not on it, you can come. But we are recruiting and accepting applications because many of our folks, their term is terming out. And so we're looking for other people to join and to be involved. A lot of these things meet monthly or quarterly. So again, we have something where it really could fit for everyone. And then at the school site also, they have athletic boosters. We have our Mount Diablo Education Foundation that does great work. We have our Mount Diablo Music Education Foundation, and then different schools have visual and performing art boosters as well. It goes on. Or you may want to come and work for the district. At all of our graduations this year, I invited our students to, after doing whatever they do after graduation, if they want to come back to the district, we have a place for them. So I'm now saying this to our parents, to our communities, to our relatives and things like that. Come in, district level employment. It may be working in business services. It may be working in ed services, human resources, special education, student services. All of those have positions that are open. They all don't necessarily require a college degree or a teaching credential. So there's something for everybody. Or school site employment, whether working in the cafeteria, being a coach, being a special education assistant, working with our students who learn differently, who again, you can go in there and work 3 to 6 hours with kids. What a great way to be a part of your community. You could be a teacher, a volunteer, yard supervisor. So those are just so many things that we offer in our district to partner with parents. It's not just sending them out information, but it's actually creating these spaces where parent input and community input is needed. We are asking for it. We do so much in this district, and we can't just do it alone. We need our communities to join. I got this picture. This is Mount Diablo High women's girls cross country. I know they over the past few years they've had a challenge keeping some of their sports going, and all of our schools do in particular areas. But I just wanted to highlight this. The coach stepped up, Marcy Torres. She's a counselor in the district. She does extra stuff all the time without asking for anything, just doing it because it's the right thing. And there was a need at Mount Diablo, and she stepped up to be the coach. And not just because we're under a Title IX, Title IX agreement, we want all of our athletes, male and female, to be able to participate. And so as we are implementing new Title IX guidance for all of our high schools, this was just a picture that kind of summarizes it, because you have an employee who already has a full day but sees a need, and she's stepping up to meet that need. You have students who are doing something productive and healthy that's going to help them, and they're doing it on a brand new track at our signature high school. So I just thought it was a picture. If you just glance at it, it may not mean much, but when you allow me 30 seconds to tell the story about the picture, it really comes to life. So that is my presentation. But again, really looking forward to this school year. We're only a week in, and already just things are happening, and appreciative of this board. We're going to do some wonderful things this year, and again, I said years back when I came that this was going to be a destination district. It is a model throughout the state, and it is known nationally for the work that we're doing for our students. So thank you. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
My only comment is you have students like me that just won't ever go away.
We don't mind. Yeah. Thank you, President.
The items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be approved or adopted by a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. However, any item may be removed from the consent agenda upon the request of any board member and acted upon separately. So trustees, does anyone wish to pull an item?
I would request to pull items 15.23 and 15.25.
So trustee Lawrence has requested to pull 15.23 and item 15.25. We ready to make a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda with the removal of 15.23 and 15.25.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee Lawrence on the approval of the consent agenda, except for 15.23 and 15.25, which will be considered separately. Trustee Barrera Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Adzewe, how do you vote?
Oh, you came in just in time. Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Mason,
Yes.
and trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please vote electronically. And it takes a moment for our staff. Oh, they're quick. The consent agenda is adopted as presented on a 5-0-0 vote with student support, with the exception of 2 items that will be considered separately. So It was 15-3 and 15-5. They will have new numbers now, 16-1.
Yep.
So traditionally, when a board member pulls an item, they make their comments about the topic, and then we determine how we're going to proceed.
Yep.
Mr. Lawrence.
So first, I want to thank Mr. Jaffe for stepping forward to be a new member of the Budget Advisory Committee, and the superintendent had touched upon it, but I just wanted to highlight the importance of these committees and that this is a fantastic opportunity to serve, to better understand the funding mechanisms for our community, and I believe that we are going to continually need people to help staff our committees. And so just want to take a moment to highlight this and thank Mr. Jaffe for stepping forward. And then I'd be happy to make a motion if there's no.
Please.
So I would make a motion to approve the nomination of Mark Jaffe to the Budget Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee McDougall. On the motion to approve a new member to the Budget Advisory Committee. Trustee Barrero Rayo Harana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Mason, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
trustee McDougall.
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi,
Yes.
trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please vote electronically. And the motion is adopted on a 5-0-0 vote with support from the student board member, and the item was approval of a new member to the Budget Advisory Committee. Item 15-5, Mr. Lawrence. Or I'm sorry, this is 16.2.
Yep. And so I had shared with the superintendent my intent to pull this item. I just had a couple questions around one. There were 3 bids, 2 were deemed not sufficient, and so I was hoping one for more information as to why those 2 bids were not sufficient. We ended up with the highest bid, and then my second question was just what steps are we taking and what can we do to encourage more competitive bidding so we're not faced with having a single bidder for these type of projects.
So I'm going to bring up our Director of Purchasing, Elizabeth McClanahan, to go over the 2 questions that you have.
Good evening. Sorry, good evening. So the process that is put forward is we bring these through our newspaper and through our local builders exchanges. We also work through our pre-qualification software, which reaches out to a larger audience, sending that notice out that we have this bid on the street. Unfortunately, with this one, we did only get the 3 bids. And we're always looking at how can we reach out and get more people, more interest in it. As far as the 2 bids that were in there that were disqualified, one was they submitted an incomplete package. They actually there's 5 essential pieces, 3 of which were not in the package. So we had to disqualify them. The other vendor was to an incomplete, what we call our subcontractor list. They're qualified people that a vendor will submit. Unfortunately, the vendor and the subcontractors were not qualified as to the scope of this project. So we had to disqualify them as well.
Thank you. That answered my questions.
Okay. Would you like to make the motion?
I would, Madam President, I move that the board approve the award of bid 1961 2025 Dent Center Technology Infrastructure Upgrade.
A second.
So we have a motion on the floor presented by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee Barrera Orellana on the district bid 1961. Further discussion? Trustee Orellana Borana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Mason,
Yes.
trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Nzewi,
Yes.
and trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please vote electronically. And the motion is adopted 500 to award bid 1961. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the business portion of our agenda. Dr. Clark, the first item 18.1.
Well, I'm back
Dr.
again.
Vargas, who's going to take that item?
Sure. So this is the annual resolution. Basically, we present the levy report for Measure A. And so we are, again, going through our annual resolution, and this is supposed to generate about $6.7 million. There was a board question on this particular item related to the delinquency rates. And so I learned something new as well. So the chart that you see, I think it's page 12 of the PDF. You will see in 2002-3, I believe, like there's a smaller percentage, and you go probably to the last 3 or 4 years where the percentage gets a little higher. So basically what that is that the county is collecting on those delinquency taxes. And as they collect them, they take them off the books for all of those years. And so that just reflects the outstanding balance for each of those years. So in the year, so 20, I believe 24, 25 was the last year where it was like 1.61%. That's like new data. So until they start collecting on that, then that percentage will start going down, just like you see in the prior years. And then the other piece is that the county, Contra Costa County treasurers or tax works off the teeter tax. So that basically means that they will front load all of our money, and on the delinquencies, they will collect that, but they get the penalty and interest dollars on those delinquent tax payments. But we will get the 6.67 million. So thanks for the question.
I appreciate the answer because I was concerned that maybe Mount Diablo would be losing those dollars. So it's we should all be grateful to our county tax administrator. Okay. Any further information on the item?
No.
Someone ready to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the adoption of resolution number 25/26-03, approving the Community Facilities District Number 1 tax levy report and appointing the special tax for fiscal year 25-26.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Mason with a second by trustee McDougall on resolution 2526-03, which is the annual Facilities District Number 1 special tax levy report. Trustee Barrera Orellana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. I neglected to ask, are there further questions or discussion? No. Okay, trustee McDougall,
Yes.
trustee Lawrence,
Yes.
trustee Mason,
Yes.
trustee Nzewi,
Yes.
and trustee Mayo also votes yes. Please vote electronically. The motion is adopted 500 with support from our student trustee. Next item, Dr. Clark.
Yeah, this is review and potential adoption of the revised certificate of signatures. And so this is an action item, and so we're asking you to approve this.
Okay, has everybody looked to make sure their name is spelled correctly? All right. Is there a motion?
Madam President, I move that the board approve item 18.2, adoption of the revised certificate of signatures for August through December 2025.
Second.
So we have a motion by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee McDougall on updating the certificates of signatures for the school district for the months of August through December 2025. Trustee Barrera or Renee, I'm sorry, I apologize. Oriana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Nzewi. I'll come back to her. Trustee McDougall.
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence.
Yes.
Trustee Mason.
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi.
Yes.
Trustee Mayo votes yes also. Please vote electronically. The motion is adopted 500 with support from our student board member for the certificates of signature. 18.3, Dr. Clark.
Yes, Madam President, we're bringing before the board tonight the review and potential approval of our annual evaluation of outdated documents to be destroyed.
I hope you've reviewed the list. Are there any questions? Not, may we have a motion?
I think you know this one warms my heart, and so I move that the board approve item 18.3, approval of the annual evaluation of outdated documents and let them be destroyed.
I second.
And who makes the second? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I wasn't watching out of the corner of my eye. Right. We have a motion by trustee Lawrence with a second by trustee Barrera or Rayana on the, what do I want to say? The record retention list of the documents that will be destroyed. And I would imagine that a lot of them are electronic too.
But you see, I don't have the big fat agenda anymore.
We've made
teasing-
progress in 5 years.
We're teasing trustee Lawrence. Trustee Barrera or Rayana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Lawrence.
Emphatically, yes.
Okay. Trustee Mason.
Yes.
Trustee McDougall.
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi.
Yes.
And trustee Mayo votes yes. All in favor signify by saying aye. I mean, sorry, voting electronically. Thank you for following my directions. Simon says. Okay. Whoops, did it freeze on us?
You confused it when you said I. That wasn't a choice.
Don't blame me.
Okay.
Are we going to have to sign out and sign back in? Breathe. While we're waiting for the system to refresh itself. There it is. The motion is adopted on a 500 vote. Let's see, future agenda items. Do any of you as trustees want to present something for the superintendent to consider presenting to us?
Yes, I would. I would like to ask for an agenda item by September 10th to review the Mount Diablo opt-out policy to align with the Supreme Court's decision on the 27th of June regarding the Mahmoud decision. I would like to see the opt-out provisions specified.
So I just want to state there has been no guidance provided by the state. So giving me a deadline is not helpful, but as soon as one comes out, we will bring it to this board for review and information.
Okay, thank you. And our student trustee had indicated that they will be starting the Student Advisory Committee again. So that will be exciting news, and we'll look forward to the information that you are able to present on your reports at each meeting. I want to thank everybody for your patience. I know we had the roll call vote and my tongue gets twisted now and then when we're presenting, but we've had a good meeting. We're finished by 8:15. And I want to thank everyone who attended this evening and enjoy the rest of your evening. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Trustee Nzewi.
Bye.
Bye-bye.